What motivates me to get involved is I enjoy it so much. It's a lot of work. There's no two ways about that. But I feel like I get to be involved. It's kind of an honor because not everyone gets to be involved. And it's part of our job, and it's part of the holistic treatment that we have for these children, that we go above and beyond just treatment and meeting their mental health needs, but I believe it's part of their emotional needs. And it's so much fun to see the reactions.
So what motivated me to get involved with the toy drive is, as a clinician, I would often nominate my families and the clients that I served, and saw the benefit and the smiles and joy that it brought my families when I would deliver the gifts. So when I became a supervisor and was asked to participate and help assist in organizing the toy drive, I jumped on the chance because I knew that it was going to give us an opportunity to provide for even more families within DMCC and our agency, just with all of the gifts that were going to be donated. And so that motivated me to get involved.
What motivates me to get involved with the holiday events is my past. I was actually one of the children that used to get these toy donations as a child. I was raised by a single mother. You know, she had 5 kids. We went through some rough times, and we were one of the nominated families. So when I got older, I started volunteering in school. And then once I started working, then I started volunteering for all of our volunteer events and our holiday events. And it's something that I hold really dear to me.
So what motivated me to get involved with the toy drive and the holiday events is, in my opinion, the holidays are the best time of year. And just by hearing from other staff who are involved and the details of what it's about, for me, I was like an automatic, like, sign me up. It sounded fun. It sounded something great to be a part of, especially with the agency and what we do. And just doing this around the holidays was a bless.
So I got involved with toy drive and holiday events. Prior to actually coming to CAHELP, I was involved with Christmas Cops and Kids in Barstow. It's where I started my volunteer activities, and I was the secretary on that inaugural board. And so I participated in that for so many years. And then when I got here and we were doing the holiday committee and we were looking toward giving back and all the things that go into that, I was like, this is right up my alley, and so I joined in and helped out.
Okay, what motivated me is just that I really like the holidays. And it started, as I thought about this question, I always remember when I first had my first job when I was a kid, and I was 9 years old, and I worked at a church, and I earned $5. And it was 6 of us, including my mom. And I went to a store called Ben Franklin, and I had $5, and I brought 5 Christmas presents for my family. And I gave them to my siblings and my mom, and the joy of seeing them enjoy the presents I gave. I didn't buy myself anything because each present cost $1. And I always remember that because just seeing the joy in their face motivated me for the next time when I got a present, or when I got my money the next Christmas, I was gonna buy the presents. And I wanna tell you something. I was 9 years old and I brought my mom, I still remember that, she kept it until even when she died, we still had this chicken, glass chicken, and she had that thing for 40, 50 years. And so I always had this mindset about Christmas that you should want to see people happy and give. So when I think of what we do here at DMCC, we make families happy by hosting these, the party and the toy drives. And I truly like being part of it because I like to see people happy and I like that joy.
I think the gifts make a difference for the families and the children involved because there's no other way for them to receive gifts. So it gives them hope that they're not alone in the world. I've been in that situation, and I wondered how I was going to find the ability to have toys for my children during the holiday. And one day I opened the door and the whole front porch was full of toys. And someone with their heart decided to bless me and my children. And I really did feel that I was not alone in the world. And I hope that that's what the difference that it makes for these children and families.
I feel that the gifts make a difference with our families because it takes that little bit of stress off of our parents and caregivers. They're able to put something underneath the tree for the clients. I think our agency is unique in that when you nominate a client, you also nominate the entire family. So all the children that are involved in that household will receive something. I think that's super impactful. I also think that it helps the family see us in a different role. So it removes us from the clinical role and they're able to see us just as a member of their community, and we're able to make some deeper connections.
The gifts do make a difference in the lives of the family and the children. As someone who has experienced this process and being one of the families that was nominated and picked previously as a child through a different company, it's a memory that I hold very dear. Waking up and seeing the tree full of toys, brand new toys, where it would have been something that my mother wouldn't have been able to afford on her own. It is a memory that I, to this day, can remember that morning waking up and seeing all the toys, and it was just a really great experience for me, and I wish that for every child out there.
I feel like it makes a difference for the family and children involved in this event because it brings a little light into, no matter what situation is going on in their lives, for us to be a part of that, ray of sunshine, that positive time, especially around the holidays. It gives them a sense of us giving back and bringing smiles to them, and especially seeing them receive their gifts and just being so excited that it's just priceless.
I think by providing gifts to the children, it brings a warm smile to their faces on Christmas morning. It helps, see that spark and joy in a child's life. A lot of the times it's something that they really wanted, and that's helpful to the families to be able to provide a little financial gift. That's something they didn't have to worry about. And the burden that our families go through in putting food on the table is more important than buying gifts. And so if we can help out in any way to bring that magic into their homes, I think it's a great relief to those families.
Well, for one thing, again, some of our families that I work with, they're not as fortunate as we are. And sometimes we forget, even as a nation, as people, how fortunate we really are. And sometimes we have to realize that there are people that don't have what we have. And I think that when my families ask, if only I had this, and when we're able to give those to our families specifically, I think that's a joy. Again, when we have our host our party that we have here, or a holiday celebration, it's just, even though it takes a lot of work, a lot of people involved, and a lot of logistics behind it, just that one day when we give them the presents and the kids come into session and talk about how much joy it brought them, the families say to me that, well, we wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for your agency and the people who helped us. That's all good.
It's being a part of something that hopefully in the long run will have a great impact for these children. How many times do we hear that children were going to take their lives or be a shooter, and just one kindness turned them around? And so I hope that you, like me, want to be that one kindness that turns them around. Come join us.
I think it's inspirational because it represents one of the CAHELP's pillars is service above self. So we're able to give back to our community in abundance. And of course, when you see the smiles on the faces of the children and of the parents, I think that that's inspiration enough to get involved.
It is a big event. It does take a lot of work. We're usually there day day in and day out, getting it all prepped and ready. And there's multiple events that you can come to, and just seeing the children be really happy with the event and seeing the toys, and you know, when the Grinch comes, being so happy to see the Grinch. It's just a really great experience.
And it takes a team of people that care. And sometimes you may not get paid for it. You may have to do a little extra. And there is. I could be honest with you. There are some families who kind of like, well, I can't make it. You may have to take those gifts over to the house. But even then, it's all worth it. For me, I would encourage anyone, identify those who are in need and give. And I always have this theory about giving. If everybody gives, then everybody will receive. That's my theory. That's my thought about giving. And that's why I always believe in giving.